A friend of me is prepping a campaign right now, and she just asked me what's the point of gold in D&D. And I think she's coming across one of the limitations that D&D has in its mechanics, because using gold to purchase equipments and upgrades is just too crude, and also limiting magical items behind expensive price tags is something I see, but it's just too lame. I see a lot of discussions also, you might hate me for this, but I see a lot of discussions on Reddit about in-world economy having a kind of economic model of supply and demand and statistics of that. But D&D's focus, or my focus as a DM, is on storytelling and narrative. And I think that's the point we need to really look for. What is the point of gold or treasures or coins or jewelry that you can find in the game? And it should be, in my view, on the narrative plot device, on the hooks that you can create, such as it could be a situation that you could bribe your way out of a problem, out of a trouble. It could be the captain of the guards that can be bribed with X amount to get out of a trouble, for example, that you can access to a restricted area. It could be a money that is cursed and you cannot discard it, you cannot get rid of it. It could be that your family has to pay back a debt. It could be, for example, a shop that you had as a family owned, and it's the start of the whole story, the whole journey, because you need to pay back this loan that has been taken from a cruel banker and has to be paid back, and the entire journey, entire story is all about that. Or it could be something like an ancient currency that you're looking for in the entire story, you're looking for in order to get access to a hidden vault, because it would only open with that certain coin or certain currency that doesn't exist anymore. And you could think about a lot more hooks, or a lot more story points. But I'm trying to say is try to bake in the role of the currency, or to have the role of the coins within your story. The other way that you could have it is a little bit having it within the game, within the gameplay loops. So what could that be? Is essentially the adventure expenses. So you do earn money, simplistically, really simplistically talking about, is via the loots, right? Or you are doing some tasks, and as a reward of that, you essentially gain some money or some finances. And what could happen at this point is that you could also say, well, since you are travelers, you also have expenses to pay, right? So there are situations that you have to stay in an inn or hotel or motel, whatever it could be. You have to stay somewhere because of its safety, because of its food and resources and all the things that it has, that you can get well rested. As a result, you would have to pay, and you could have actually very, very simple mechanics in here, that if you, for example, are staying in an inn, it could be, just as an example for your group, each of them having 5 coins or having 6 coins, or something like a entire group price of, for example, 35 coins stay in an inn. And the alternative to this, instead of this, you could say, hey, we don't want to stay in that place, we want to camp instead. And you could actually offer that. However, this camp would have a chance, a non-zero chance, that let's say a chance of 20%, and that you can determine it with the dice, a chance that it would cause a random encounter. So it would be, for example, goblins, or it could be wolves, or other merchants. Sometimes a positive thing, sometimes a negative thing could be triggered by that, and it could have its own subplot and sub story when you camp. And also, the camp isn't free, because you still need to consume some rations, and you still need to have all the camping material. So this is not free, it will be just cheaper. So you could have some sort of a pricing here. So essentially, this will be self repeating, self replicating cycle, and like you receive some rewards, and you would say, okay, where does it go? Well, it goes to all the expenses so that we could have this whole story going. So it's kind of like as a Hintergedanke. You just have it in back of your mind. So how could things work behind the scenes? I hope this video was helpful. It was quite short. If it was, please like, share, and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Peace.